Hello everyone, welcome back to Metal Gaming. My name is Roland and today I'm gonna talk to you about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Now this is gonna be a first impression video. I've played the game for around 5 hours now. I completed the Saiyan saga. I've battled Vegeta and it was epic and awesome. But let's not jump too ahead of ourselves. Now if you're not aware, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a game developed by CyberConnect 2 and it's published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. And it follows mostly the Dragon Ball Z storyline. From what I have understood, it's gonna include the Saiyan, Frieza saga, Cell saga, and Buu. But they said that it will include that DLCs are going to come, which means that it makes me suspect that there will be more storylines, maybe some side storylines with the cyborgs or from the movies like Broly. So on and so forth. So there's a lot of variety that they might do with it. But as of now, it's the Saiyan saga, Frieza, Cell, and Buu. Buu. Now I just finished playing the game. I streamed it for 5 hours and I finished from the start to the end the Saiyan saga. And let me say it was awesome. I liked the game overall. There are a few issues though, and let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the game. It's a new concept for the channel that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk to you about the game after I played it for around 5 hours, and then when I finish it, I will end up with a final discussion about the game. So let's jump into the videos, the graphics of the game. Now this is it depends on who you ask. I think they try to replicate the anime as close as possible. And that might be a good thing or that might be a bad thing depending on who you talk to. Personally, I'm not... The graphics are okay and I don't really put a lot of emphasis on them. So it's nothing game breaking. It doesn't look amazing or anything. It's just similar to previous games. It looks okay. But you know, in these games I don't think that the main discussion should be the graphics. It looks okay enough so you can enjoy it. That's my opinion about the graphics department at the moment. I might say something else at the end when I finish the game and I do the second video. Now that being said, the audio is good, dialogues are okay, but sometimes in the side missions and in some of the dialogues, the characters, there is no sound coming. You can read the lines and the characters are moving their mouths, but there is no sound. They're just grinding, and it's a little bit. It makes the game feel a little bit cheap, to be honest with you, and that's not okay for a $60 game, €60 game, depending where you live. It's €60 where I live. So I think that you should expect more and they should offer more for the money. And that's something that turned me off a little bit. Now that being said, I mean, it is what it is. Take it as you want. The gameplay itself. Now, the gameplay, I've enjoyed it. If at the beginning it was hard to get into it a little bit. I was very out of my comfort zone because I mostly play games with the keyboard and the mouse. But obviously this game is better played on a controller, and that's what I did. I played on a controller. Now, after a few hours have passed and I've gotten more comfortable with the gameplay, I think the game is great. If you can nail some sweet combos, it makes you feel like a badass. And I've enjoyed that part of the game. Now, that being said, there are some very inconvenient things in the game. For example, they are these Dragon Balls all around the map. You have the blue ones, the green ones, and I think there was another one. The red ones, yes. Now, when you go around and fetch them while you fly, sometimes there are circles of Dragon Balls through which instinctively you would think that you have to go through the circle and then you pick up all of them, but it's not like that. You have to pick every ball in the circle one by one, and that can be a little bit frustrating because The flying mechanism is not very intuitive, where you don't just point towards the direction that you want to go and it'll go. I mean, it will do that, but only in the side directions. If you want to go higher or lower, you cannot do that. There are two separate buttons for that. And that is, I don't know why they did that. Maybe it's, I just don't understand why they did that. I think it would have been much better if you could just control the direction of the player with the joysticks, but you can't do that for some reason, and that was very annoying in a few instances. And even when you battle, the controls can be a little bit, how should I say this? Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk too much about the controls of the game, because it's still early times. I've played 5 hours, and I cannot, to be honest with you, I cannot determine if it's because I was bad in the beginning, or is it just because sometimes the controllers are not working properly. So I'm not gonna talk too much about the controls of the game at the moment. What I'm gonna talk about though is the camera. The camera can be a major turn off sometimes, because while in the heat of the battle, you know, where enemies fly up and down and side to side, and it's sometimes just, I had a few instances, two times, where the camera was just broken. I couldn't see my enemy. I saw myself from a great distance. It was very annoying. And sometimes also, like, yeah, because of the movement and so on and so forth, there can be some funky things going on with the camera. But it's not a game breaker, because the game is not very hard, and that might be good or bad, but the game is quite forgiving. And it doesn't, like, I didn't die because of the bad cameras. That could happen sometimes. So yeah, it is what it is. It happens sometimes, not often, but it does happen. And then for example, like no, I'm not gonna talk about spoilers here, but there is an instance where you start battling, before you battle Vegeta and Nappa, there are these small green things that you fight with. And it's just like, I didn't understand anything in the fight that happened with those guys. They were just flying it was a giant mess. Now, another cool thing about the combat is if the enemy is on low health and you hit them with the last hit and you hit a power move or a key move, that's awesome, because it shows a different angle on the character, on your character, whether it's Gohan or Son Goku, so on and so forth. And that was a little nice touch that I appreciated. Now, that being said, the game is still long before I'm gonna finish it. I've played it for the first 5 hours. I've managed to finish the Saiyan saga, as I said before, but there's 3 more sagas coming, and those are usually the Frieza one, I think, and the Buu one will be longer. The game is 30 hours plus, so there's still much to be said, much to be played. And that's about it. This is my first impression of the game. But overall, even though there are some annoying little inconveniences, and the game itself, if you would like strip it from what it is, a Dragon Ball Z game, it would be a mediocre game. But granted that it's with Dragon Ball Z, I like the way that it gives you like this cool combination where you can actually control some of the characters, but it's still like watching an anime. And I think that will hook a lot of people and will make a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans like this game, and I liked that a lot. And although there are inconveniences, as I said before, overall I liked the package, I liked the experience. I was pumped up when I was fighting Vegeta as Goku. I was so pumped up that you could just saw the excitement on my face when I was streaming it and playing it. So I can barely wait to play the Frieza saga, which is next. I think that'll be the best one. That's my favorite part in all the Dragon Ball Z series. So we're gonna see how it goes. But that's it, guys. My first impression of the game. I'm gonna be streaming it for the next few days. A lot of content on it will be on the next few days. That being said, thank you very much for watching and stay tuned. Until next time, stay strong.